Just got to make sure that everything is working. I think it is, and we'll hope that video. I'm very proud of the video. That's why I want to show it.
Sure.
We received a grant from New Horizons, and part of that grant was to create video content that on ageism, actually. But we were able to capture an awful lot of information, not just about ageism. So this particular cut is not specific to ageism, but that was the basis for the grant. So we've probably shot over 2 hours of video that we've used on Facebook and a few other places. We've shown it here at the center. I'd like to get it more broadly shown,
Sure.
in particular, the stuff on ageism.
And for me, my interest is to get seniors to go to senior centers, period.
And that's,
doesn't matter.
yeah, okay,
You know,
so, and we align there in this presentation for sure.
Yeah, making contacts and that sort of stuff. But I just didn't want to say, 2 weeks ago, we had a great TED talk on ageism. She was a real rabble rouser. The lady who presented on the TED talk was a real rabble rouser, and yeah, it was interesting. So, all right, we got Joan coming in.
Well, when you're in, like, I'm in the age bracket for senior association, well within it, and even I find myself making comments that aren't intended to be ageist. I don't know what you want to call it. But I really had to stop and think about, and in fact, we now use the term older adult here more than we use the term senior. It does come up, it's in our name, but it's definitely something we think about more now than we ever have.
And, you know, a friend of mine from high school, so that goes back a few years. She posts on Facebook the most ageist cartoons that you can possibly think. And I've said, Susan, come on, you know,
Yeah.
I happen to know your age because we graduated the same year. They're not funny, they're to discriminate, but I've lost that argument, so I'm not going to try to launch that day again.
Well, sometimes, you know, it takes time for things to change. Your group of all people understand that.
Yes, yes. Well, listen, it's 11 o'clock, so we will start. And good morning. My name is Eric Story, and I'm from the Edmonton Seniors Pride Group. And what is the date today? It's the 23rd, eh?
23rd of May, 2024.
Okay, good. We passed that mini mental test then. So thanks for attending our weekly session. Just 1 second. Yeah, and before I introduce our speaker, I'd like to acknowledge that we're located on Treaty 6 territory and respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our lives. 2 housekeeping items. Let you know that the session will be recorded for future use on our YouTube channel, and if you don't wish your image to be recorded, please close your video feed. And secondly, the code of conduct is that please respect the speaker by remaining muted during the talk. We'll unmute you for the Q&A, and be mindful of time limitations and keep your questions and comments as brief as possible so that everyone can participate. Everyone who wishes to will be given an opportunity to ask a question before individuals who have already spoken will be recognized. And please respect confidentiality of personal information. So that's exhausting reading all of that. And now with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce Janice Pearson, who is our speaker for today. Janice is a former high school teacher and principal who has worked for the nonprofit world since 2010. Janice loves her job at Central Line Seniors Association, and it's about older adults living their best lives. She is an older adult who can't wait to become a member and do all the fun stuff she sees her members doing. Janice lives on an acreage north of Gibbons with her husband Blaine and her 2 dogs, Kevin and Sid. She enjoys her 2 daughters and 5 grandchildren, camping, reading, kayaking, and quilting. Janice, go ahead.
Oh, thank you so very much. I'm really pleased to be here today. This kind of started with Roy. You all know, I think, Roy. When I invited him and his partner, Barry, in to talk to me to make sure that Central Lions was a warm and welcoming place for the LGBTQ plus community. And I know there's a couple other letters in there now, but you know what I mean. And I just wanted to make sure that we were in no way being disrespectful, that they felt that they were welcome. And they assure me that we are a welcoming place. They gave me a couple suggestions, which I'm going to take. So that's kind of how it started. And Roy suggested that this group would be a good one to talk to about what Central Lions has to offer. So Central Lions Seniors Association was built in 1966 by the Central Lions Club of Edmonton. And at that time, as soon as it was built, they turned it over to the city with a stipulation that it be used as a senior center into perpetuity. It was the first of its kind in Edmonton. It was the largest center in North America. And it's still the largest facility in Edmonton, and it has the largest population of users within the greater Edmonton region. So, you know, we're very proud of that, but we also have a responsibility because we consider ourselves a leader in offering older adults activities and socialization. So, whoops, there we go. Who we are. So the city owns the building and provides the maintenance and the janitorial staff. They also provide us with an operational fund, a grant, as part of their age-friendly city initiatives. And most senior centers in the city do receive this operational grant. And as other centers in the city, we are a member-based organization. So we do welcome non-members. The difference is that non-members have more privileges and they receive a discount on their activity pricing, but you don't have to be a member. But the majority of the people who use or who take part in our programs are indeed members. We had in 2023, 1,784 members. It's one of the largest memberships we've had for several years. We're very proud of that because after the pandemic, we were in pretty dire straits because we'd had almost 2 full years of no revenue, as did every other center and not-for-profit really in the city in Canada. So it was great to see the members coming back and enjoying themselves after that 2-year hiatus. We are governed by a volunteer board of 12. They are members as well, operated by a staff of 7. So the governing board is a governance board, setting policy at a higher level, and they delegate the operations to me as the executive director, and I in turn employ 7 staff members to make sure things are running well. And the biggest thing is that we have 75 irreplaceable volunteers. Volunteers play a really critical role here at the center. They act as ambassadors who greet each member when they arrive. They direct people to the right rooms and generally provide a warm and welcoming first impression. Volunteers also host our special events. They make coffee, they set up tables, they set up chairs, they run our used book room, and many, many other things. So much of what we do would not be possible if we didn't have those volunteers helping us out. There's just no way a staff of 7 could run all the programs, do all the things that we do, and make it a warm and welcoming place at the same time. We offer we have 3 seasons. We're in the spring and summer season right now. And right now we're offering over 210 activities that you can register for. And we also have an open fitness room that remains open from 7:45 in the morning till 3 p.m. at night. And we have a full cardio. We have about 10 cardio pieces, cardio equipment, sorry. We have a circuit, free weights, a universal gym, balls, bands, mats, you name it. It's a smaller place, but it has everything that a normal gym would have. And it's well used. People really take advantage of it because it's really set up nicely. And we have a wonderful lady who is our fitness coordinator named Stephanie. And Stephanie does a lot of work to help people make sure they understand the equipment, make sure they're using things safely. If they need some advice about, how to improve or work a certain muscle, she's able to provide some advice in that area. She is getting her certification as a personal trainer. And once that happens, then the sky's the limit for our fitness center. So it's very exciting. And of course, our mission is to encourage, promote, and provide opportunities through recreation, education, and socializing to enhance the well-being of persons aged 55 and older. When we're talking about the 55 and older, so most of our members are retired, but we still have quite a few who work part-time, full-time, although they find it more difficult to enjoy our activities. And so we really have a mix. So being a senior center is really misnamed. We work with older adults, and wherever you are in your journey as an older and adult, we will help and provide opportunities for you to live your best life, truly. So I'm going to show you a video, and I'm going to have to stop my sharing for a second and see if I can make this work. Now let me know if you... Okay, good.
Welcome to Central Line Seniors Association. We are a place for those 55 plus to be active, to socialize, and feel safe. People 55 plus are the fastest growing population in Alberta, making up 27% of the population. Isolation and loneliness results in poor health outcomes and a lower quality of life for some of those people. At CLSA, we work to improve the quality of life for older people through sports, music, dance, crafts, art, general interest classes, fitness, volunteering, and health and wellness. Our motto, come for the programs, stay for the people, is lived each and every day at CLSA. With over 1,000 members, we are a vibrant, lively organization that thrives on helping people lead the very best life they can.
So if someone was asking me about Central Lions, I would absolutely tell them that it's a very friendly environment. It's welcoming. It has lots of activities that you can take and choose as much as you want. And the people are so friendly and nice. The staff is wonderful to deal with, and it's not expensive. So that is something that I think it will help you build a community and keep you in touch with others.
Well, I'm addicted to pickleball. Everything has to revolve around that schedule.
Well, I think everyone needs some connection. So coming to CLSA, you connect with people of different interests and different programs that you can enjoy if you need to.
General friendly people. I mean, even the walkers and whoever. I mean, it's always a, good morning, how are you? So it's always a nice social aspect of it. And the people that are here in the different programs are also have the same mindset as I do. Like they want to continue still doing things and being active and just senior actually doesn't come to mind. It just being active and involvement is the thing.
Oh, what to expect here? I tell people a lot. Again, with the community, if they need to learn a little bit, or if they want to play any kind of exercise or paddle sports, everything you have here is amazing that they're so creative, even with the fitness center. It's amazing. I can't even explain. There's just so much going on here, and the special events are amazing outside of the like the casino and the plein air. It's amazing what you can do here.
The programs I really like here are the fitness programs, the music programs, and especially something that combines that, like tap dancing.
I feel differently after attending programs here, especially after a rousing round of pickleball. I feel pretty exhausted, but I do like, you know, the feeling I get of accomplishing something, of learning something, of improving a skill, and of course, being with people I enjoy being with, for sure.
I'd tell someone new to the center not to really have expectations, because there's a huge variety of programs, a huge variety of people. They'll fit in somewhere.
Come down, have a look, do a tour. There's something here for everybody.
We'll go back to my other screen. So why do we do it? Why do we have senior centers? Well, in Edmonton right now, between 25 and 27% of Edmonton's population is in our target zone. CLSA is located in an area that has the densest population of seniors and older adults. I think that's one of the reasons why our membership is fairly high. The city has an age-friendly strategy, and based solely on the numbers, you can see why. When you're looking at the demographics, the 55 to 64 year age makes up about 46% of those seniors. So you have about 54% of those seniors that are older than 65. And it's important when I look at this, my feeling as an executive director, when I look at the population of Edmonton, when this was done at 1.01, and you look at the number of seniors, 256,000 seniors, there are a lot of seniors or older adults out there who are not accessing the programs that are provided here in the city, and they should be. And I know that even though we have a number of centers, and I'm going to talk about those a bit later, how do we reach those individuals? Because it is critical that they become involved. And this, is partly why. So social isolation is the number one indicator for a number of things. So first of all, when you're socially isolated as an older adult, it can often lead to adverse behaviors like drinking, smoking, and couch potato, basically, and an unhealthy diet. And of course, we know that those leads to other chronic diseases when you're not exercising, when you're not visiting with people. Lack of support has been linked to 60% increase in risk of dementia and cognitive decline. 60% is a very large number when you look at that. So, and lack of support when you're as a senior, when you're isolated with very few people around you, with maybe not a strong family unit, for example, coming to a senior center provides you with that sense of community and connectiveness that's so important. And social isolation in older adults is a significant, that's a clinic or a research term, predictor of death. And in fact, it is found to be as strong a predictor as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or basically alcoholism. And when you think about that, you really start to go, okay, we have to do something about this, because we, as a society, can make changes to make sure that older adults in our communities are not isolated. And there is a systemic cost to all of this that we also need to take heed. It's 4 to 6 times more likely to be admitted or readmitted to hospital than older adults in general. 4 to 6 times more likely. They have a higher rate of heart disease, stroke, dementia, depression, and falls. Social isolation is one of the top 4 predictors for placement into costly nursing home settings. And I mean, that could be for many reasons, but if your health is declining and you have nobody around you, you don't have many choices anymore. So the idea, of course, is to ensure that health doesn't decline, or do everything you can possibly do to have a better life so that, you know, the possibility of health decline isn't so great for you. So that's, you know, why we have senior centers all across Edmonton and their surrounding communities. Who are most vulnerable to these poor outcomes? Well, we know older adults with physical and mental health issues. They're especially physical, mental health. When you're unable to get where you want to go, if you're confused about where you want to go, if you have depression, anxiety, these are all really difficult things to overcome. And you tend to, you know, turtle within your own apartment or house and not get out. How do we reach those individuals? I mean, that's a good question. I don't really know how to answer that yet. Low income adults, again, they may be difficult for them to have transportation to a facility. Of course, all of our senior centers have a membership fee, and some or most activities have a small cost attached to them. Some have a large cost, but you know, we offer a number of low cost activities at, you know, $3 a day. But that $3 for a low-income senior is really, really important. So Central Alliance offers a scholarship program for low-income seniors, and how it works really is it's very simple for us. We ask that people in this bracket acquire the Leisure Access Pass through the City of Edmonton, because when they give that pass, they do all the financial background work. We don't have the resources to do all of that. So then they come to us, they have the pass, and they are given a scholarship depending on what they want. We hope that they will buy their membership. To us, that shows a bit of a commitment to the organization, but your scholarships can pay for your membership, which is $40. And then the activities up to $150 worth of activities or more if we see that there's a real need. And we have a number of people on their scholarship program. And my biggest push this year has been to get the word out that we have the scholarship program. And it is funded through donations primarily, partly through casino funds and some of the city grant. But, you know, we are able to provide this for people, and hopefully that helps out there. Older adults who are caregivers sometimes get very isolated because they're focused on the care of their individual. Indigenous older adults often have poor outcomes. Newcomers to Canada and older adults who are in the LGBTQ community also are vulnerable to poor outcomes. And you would know better than I why that might be. I can only guess that still for some older adults, it's difficult. It's difficult to get into the community, or you feel you're going to be judged when you get into the community. And so you might just stay home. Again, that's just a guess on my part. So what we offer at CLSA, I won't go through it all, but we do offer an awful lot here. We offer art. I mean, so many different art courses, whether you like watercolors, you like pencil drawings, we have Ukrainian art, we have Chinese drawings, we have it all. Drama, we have a drama club that puts on a few productions every year, and they really enjoy themselves. Cards and mahjong, crafts, floor curling. Pickleball is our biggest winner. We have about 150 pickleball players who all sit on their phones at 8:30 on registration day and get registered instantly, because things fill up so fast. they don't want to be disappointed. And of course, if they've been playing pickleball 11:30 on Tuesdays for the last, year, they have the same group of people. They want to be back in there because that has become their social circle. It's fun. And we have table tennis, snooker, stained glass. We have a vocational studio that we have a stained glass time. There's a lapidary, which is rock polishing and carving. Wood carving is another thing that goes on in our vocational room. A lot of people want to pick up an instrument, but think it's maybe too late. Well, harmonica, ukulele, these are fairly simple instruments to learn how to play. You might not master it, I don't know, but you might. Guitar, drumming, piano, bands. We have all sorts of dance programs. We offer French and Spanish. I believe we're going to try to do Ukrainian as well in the fall or the winter. And we have American Sign Language. So we are play host to the Alberta 55 plus deaf games. And so they have an office here. They utilize one of our rooms. They are members. And so offering ASL was kind of a no-brainer. And then we have a ton of general interest. So if you're not into the sports end of thing, we have a ton of different things that we offer everybody. The financial ones, it's always a worry when you're retired. You want to know a bit more about how to utilize your Rift, how it looks, what it should look like. We're not there to plan your retirement because we hope that you've done that before, but we can help you moving forward. We do a lot on wills and estates because it's not so simple anymore. You need to have a personal directive. You need to have a power of attorney. You need to have, of course, a will, and you need to understand how your will be dispersed, what the tax implications are for your benefactors. And all of those things, it's not quite as simple as it used to be. So we offer a lot of those kinds. And going on down, one of the ones that the Philosopher's Cafe is a big one. We get lots of people coming. That's a deep dive into philosophy. I know we had a whole session on the 4 horses of the apocalypse. Not that long ago. It's like, but they come in droves. And then our future big ideas. We had a whole series on democracy that people came to. So, it depends on where what your interests lie, but we usually have something for everybody. And then we have our fitness programs. Our fitness programs, there's a large number of them. They target certain areas. Some target strength, some targets cardio. We even have a Golden Gloves, which is our boxing group. Now they don't box at each other, at least not while I'm around to see it. But they really enjoy themselves there. And then some pictures that have suddenly gone sideways. How does that happen? Anyway, I wonder if I can change that. Yeah, well, a little bit. Anyway, in the upper left-hand corner, you see is our Cuppa Corner. So our Cuppa Corners, every couple of weeks, on Thursdays, we have a social hour. We usually have a presentation of some sort. Sometimes it's educational, sometimes it's entertaining. Today is our Cuppa Corner day, and they're actually doing a puzzle competition. Sometimes we do bingo, a fun bingo. But we do get a good crowd out, and the presentations are short, and then people just socialize. They have coffee, there's goodies available. It's all free of charge. We have a number of bands who play out of the center as well. In fact, we have one band playing today. They play every Thursday morning. It's a 56-piece orchestra that is amazing to listen to. We love it. Our pickleball group, this is just one of many pickleball groups. As you see, guitar, and then the ones that are sideways, it's just my lapidary group there. And then drum making is another, and we don't have a culture that we specify drum making for. Every culture has a sort of percussion instrument in it, and we just teach how to make those drums, and then they do some playing. Okay. And then, so here's where we talk about the importance. So older adults make connections through shared interests. And it results in this sense of belonging, and that's what we're looking for. They want belonging, they want meaning, they want purpose, and we provide those things for people when they come in here. Especially the biggest one is the sense of belonging. That's what we want. That's what we hope for. And we set things up and hope that that happens. Learning new skills while socializing also encourages that mental stimulation, which is so important so that our brains do not decline as we age. And then there's some bonding opportunities that benefits people's well-being. And it's never too late to learn a new skill, a language, an art, a card game. Will you master that skill by the time you're done? Some people do. We have many in our advanced Spanish class that started in our beginning classes. I don't know if you call it mastered, but they can hold their own wherever they go that speak Spanish. So, you know, we think that that's an important thing. So we don't want people to think that just because you turn 55 or you turn 65 that all of a sudden, okay, I don't need to learn or I don't want to learn anything anymore. That's not the attitude. You want to learn even more. Now you have the time to do it. And here are all the different places in Edmonton that offer a social setting for older adults. Aging with Pride. It's online, but it brings you guys together. You have chats. It helps with the mental stimulation with these presentations. I saw a few of your YouTube videos that you had taken of presentations. I thought they were great and something that I enjoyed just sitting and watching. Better to be involved. Central Lines, of course. There's the Edmonton Aboriginal Senior Centre. You do not have to be Aboriginal to join that centre. But it is geared towards Aboriginal seniors. The Jewish Senior Center, same thing. You certainly don't have to be Jewish to be a part of that center, and they offer an awful lot of stuff. Mill Woods, North Edmonton, Probus, I believe, and somebody will correct me after this, but I believe that's an offshoot of not Rotary, but the Lions Club, I believe. It segues into that. It's one of those types of organizations that, you know, you don't want to do all of the volunteering and stuff like that anymore. So you can kind of graduate to this club. SAGE, of course, you guys know about SAGE. Seniors Center Without Walls. Again, they provide courses, activities, and that sort of thing online. So if you aren't able to leave your home, this is a good option as well. The Shama Center, Southeast, Southwest. The Rocky Mountain Senior Ski Club is a great organization for skiing, but they've now kind of narrowed in as well on biking. So they ski in the winter, and now they're looking at biking, and because so many of them that ski also bike. So now they're doing stuff in that arena for the spring and summer. And the West End Seniors Activity Center. So, you know, there's no reason that you can't find a place that's close to you given this list for sure. And that's all I have.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Janice. I know, because I've been involved with social work, the risks for seniors and social isolation and so on. I generally see like one senior center advertising on Facebook or social media and another one here or there. Is there a coordinated once a year campaign and basically saying, I don't care where you live, there's a senior center close to you, get there, get your ass there?
No, there's not much for coordination. Now, having said that, the Seniors Coordinating Council does do an awful lot of stuff for senior centers across the city. We come together to talk about issues, funding oftentimes. Us right now, we're together with that, trying to make the grant process with the city of Edmonton a little bit more, have a little bit more meat to it. But when it comes to everybody, you know, advertising or supporting others, no, it doesn't happen. And it's a culture that has been a culture of competition that has been created throughout the years. And I don't really believe it needs to exist at all. But we do have reciprocal agreements with most of the senior centers, not all of them on that list, but most of them. And that means if you belong to one organization, then you can have a membership at a substantially reduced price at another reciprocating organization. But that's as much as we do together.
Sorry, I hijacked that question, but but I really, that is something, I think, one of those things that we need to just once a year say, get your ass out of the house and go to a senior center. And but yeah, that's a personal thing. Sorry, any other questions, comments?
I really am struck by how much the need is not to provide services which are there in abundance, but getting the people to them. And that seems to me, it's basically the same thing as Eric is saying. And I'm not sure that once a year is enough. There really needs to be some sort of central clearinghouse, both technology enabled and still on paper for the people who can't, so that something that's readily available that isolated seniors can actually get, because there is a certain amount, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but there is a certain amount of preaching to the choir. The people who know about it talk to other people who know about it, and we miss the people that we're trying to serve.
Yeah, that's actually how we get most of our members. It's word of mouth. We have a big open house, but and I really liked your idea. I like your idea, Eric, about this notion of a general campaign done. And that's something I can bring forward as well to, you know, my connections and contacts. The one big thing about advertising, well, first of all, Facebook is a really good place. Most seniors have access to Facebook. We have seen a substantial rise in the use. So we used to, for registration, it used to be all in person. And then we went and added an online option. And maybe 10% of the people took advantage of it. Now we have 70% of people register online for their activities. So we know we have a population that is tech savvy. Not maybe as 100% comfortable with technology like a 25 or 30-year-old would be, but certainly a lot of them use Facebook. So that's a good thing. But how do you get out to that? It's very expensive to advertise for these large campaigns, because really what you need to do is to use television. Many, you know, the news, for example. And I have tried with Global in particular several times to get even our events kind of showcased, or we had a big health and wellness conference and we wrote to them about it, and, you know, nobody contacted us. So I have to do a little bit better a job at that. And maybe I need to reach out and find people who do have connections with the media outlets, because I think if I sat down with a couple other people from different senior centers and we sat down and did an interview with them, I think that would be very powerful.
Yeah, agreed. Great. Other questions? No. I do have, so the concept of how to bring, you know, you said most of your new members were brought in by existing members, is that?
Yeah, we also have an open house in August of every year, and we've seen a substantial rise. So when we have our open house, we get a ton of new members coming and signing up after that open house. So the first year I was here, we had about 500 people come to the open house. The last year we had 650, over 650 people come to our open house. So, and like I said, they're not all of our members, you know, they're coming from all over and they're signing up for memberships once they see the things that we can offer. So, but getting them through the door, that's hard.
That's the challenge, and I think that's probably for most organizations, that's a very similar pattern that, you know, you get invited in by somebody who's already there, or if there's an open house that you go. Those are seem to be the two ways most organizations establish those contacts, but unfortunately, that tends to leave out the isolated ones because they don't know anybody who's going.
Yeah,
Who's
exactly. And you know,
So,
the part of the problem is image. So when you're talking about a seniors association, ageism plays hugely into that, because as soon as you're a association, obviously you have people in their walkers and their wheelchairs and banging their head against a wall and forgetting their own name, and you know, it's like, oh, please, it's nothing near that. I think we have 3 people with walkers, not that we don't welcome them, but you know, this is an active recreation place. And so, you know, the perception that of senior association, I think, is a deterrent for many, especially the younger, older adults who think, I'm not ready for that. But yeah, you are. I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to come here and do stuff. And you guys, I want to invite you for a tour. Anytime you would like to come, individually, group, it doesn't matter. We do tours quite often with people just stopping in and going, I've never heard of this place. They said, well, let me take you on a tour. And almost inevitably they sign up as a member. So I'm more than welcome. If I'm not available, one of my staff members are happy to take you through and around. It's amazing how big this facility is. That's the first thing they say. This is way bigger than we thought. And it is.
I must confess that as an 80-year-old, I have difficulty imagining a 55-year-old as an older adult. They're very much in the time of life. So what I wonder is whether you have any sort of age appropriate criteria that you use in the things so that 80-year-olds could, you know, feel welcome and able to do, say, a fitness program that
Yes.
a 55-year-old would.
Now,
that's important.
All of our fitness programs, the exercise programs themselves, all are adaptive programs. So the instructors all know how to adapt a program for the age of not an age isn't the factor. It's the physical fitness of the person. So, you know, for somebody who's largely overweight, there's things they might not be able to do in the way that the instructor is talking, but they will adapt the program for that person. If you're 85 or 90 years old, you don't move quite as fast as you used to, programs are adapted. I've never heard anybody express any problems with joining in with any of those kinds of activities. Our average age is 72, just so you know.
It's good. Any other questions? Grant?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I found the your presentation informative, enlightening, and kind of amusing because I kept seeing a couple of really good friends of mine whom I saw 3 days ago, actually. And
Barry and Roy?
Barry and Roy.
Yeah.
And was Anita in there as well?
Pardon?
Was that Anita that I saw as well?
It could be. I don't know everybody.
Okay. She's
so
a good friend of theirs as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have been talking for, well, ever since they retired about all the good things that you guys do. So carry on.
Yeah, they're big champions, and I appreciate that an awful lot. I love both of them. They're such lovely guys.
Well, they're completely nuts, but
well,
how could you not?
Barry is a bit more than Roy.
True.
Don't tell him I said that.
I've known them for so many years. It's just incredible.
Yeah. They are really likable guys.
Yeah.
So I guess the
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm done.
Okay, the outcome is that as seniors, I guess what our goal is to talk to everybody we know and tell them to, well, please consider going to a senior center, or in my case, get your ass out of your chair and go over there.
Yeah.
Because I really do think it's something that's very, very important.
Just set aside your
Again,
expectations, as that one member said, set aside your expectations, and see what it's all about, you know.
Mhm. And I think the other side of that is to set aside your expectations of yourself, is in terms of going to, if I walk into a badminton class, at a senior center, I'm not going to expect to see an 18-year-old whiz acing me on every serve. I'm expecting people to be more in the level of where I am, so that I can have an enjoyable game.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the prejudices as well, is that we grew up in schools with so many other athletes that were so much better than us. And I think at a senior center, involved in a physical activity is more for the companionship and the enjoyment.
There's
and a little bit of cardio or
there's
muscle
no
movement.
competition here. Really, it's all about having fun. I want to tell you just really quickly a brief story about table tennis. So table tennis guys, we don't have an awful lot of players, but what they've done for themselves, when I saw this, the first time I saw it, I was just tickled pink. They take big sheets of corrugated cardboard, and they put duct tape on the bottom and duct tape on the back, on the top, and they roll out these huge rolls around each table, so that when the ball goes flying, they're not running all across the gym to get it. And I thought, that's brilliant, like brilliant. So when you go in there, you see all these tables covered with or surrounded by cardboard, and they roll them up after every meet, and away they go. So I just thought that was a great solution. Again, it's an older adult solution. Who wants to be running? You want to play table tennis. Don't want to be exhausted running after especially a table tennis ball.
Even though it might do you some good.
Yeah, well, maybe, but.
Larry, you had a question.
It's more a comment, and thank you for reaching out to us, because it does strike me that the marginalized groups, and probably all of them, but certainly the LGBTQ group, unless we are specifically invited, for too many of us, we assume we're not welcome. The assumption isn't that we're automatically welcome. So that reaching out, sometimes the messenger is important, or more important than the message, is so important. So thank you for being here.
Yes.
Yeah, follow up to that, because I think that's a good point, Larry. On the list that you showed us of all the senior centers in Edmonton, or at least, some of them, Aging with Pride alphabetically was the very first one. How many of the other senior centers are going to have a list like that includes Aging with Pride?
Well, the list, really, I generated the list for this presentation.
Okay.
Sage puts out a directory. If you haven't got one, you should get one. Sage's seniors directory, and in there it lists every senior center in Edmonton.
Okay.
And other than, I think there was a couple I didn't include on the list because they were very specific to something else. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, you can go in there. It's a couple pages at the towards the front, and it lists everything down there. I just did it because I wanted to show that really, for me, I just want you to get out and do stuff.
Yeah.
I'd love it if you picked us, but it doesn't really matter. Pick whomever you want. I've met them, all of the executive directors anyway. They're good people. They try their best, but sometimes it's not a fit, or you don't feel that warm and fuzzy feeling that you were looking for. Then you go somewhere else. Don't stop. You'll find your home. So yeah.
Good answer.
Thanks.
And I just want to put in a plug that Central Lyon Seniors Association will be having a strawberry tea June 27th. So put it in your calendars. Nice to see another seniors center start to have a strawberry tea. I think it's an important part of inclusion. And I just, it wasn't lost on me that Aging in Pride was #1 on the list and #1 in everybody's heart.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'll put another plug in on June 16th, I think it is. No, that's a Sunday. Must be June 12th. Anyway, we're doing Pride Bingo. So it's bingo as ordinary as ever, which follows the theme. But these are the bingo prizes. They're rainbow socks. So we are trying to do a few things this month or in June to recognize your community, our community.
Thank you.
And so
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Are there any other questions? Any other comments?
No.
If not, I'll just say thank you so much for presenting today, Janice. Really appreciate it.
thank you.
Letting us know another facility in the city that we're welcome at and some of the features and programs that you have. Tell everybody to watch for next week. Next week, we have SJ Lafayette from the Pride Center here talking to us. So that's it. There's a few, I think I'm gonna send out a few notices by email over the coming days. The art gallery has got Seniors Week coming up and there's a few other things. So I'll probably send out a few, if hopefully if anybody's getting too many emails, let me know, I'll cut it back. But I think that's one way to publicize events that are going on in the city. But thank you so much. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
And we'll see you.
Thank you for having me, folks. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
John.
Bye.
Bye all.